A condo owner's insurance went up 450% in a year, and a consumer watchdog group says he's not alone. We're working for you to find out why this is happening.
With cold, flu, and COVID season upon us, I talked to some doctors about the latest numbers and trends we're seeing here in San Diego County.
A Poway woman's father's military ring found decades after his helicopter crashed and killed him north of the Arctic Circle.
He looked down to see a shining beacon. It was my father's Annapolis class ring.
You still have time to drop off your Christmas tree, but coming up, find out how you can also take advantage of the compost that these trees make.
Perfect grades at MIT. Meet San Diego's star student known as
Agent Stephen Hawking.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
Living in San Diego is about to get more expensive. As CBS 8 discovers, insurance companies are hiking up rates well above the rate of inflation. Good evening, I'm Jesse Pagan. Carlo's off tonight.
I'm Marcella Lee. CBS 8 has received emails from viewers stunned by their new bills, and they're wondering why this is happening, especially since they've had no claims. Steve Price is working for you tonight to get answers. He joins us live now from Claremont to explain. Steve?
And you know, Marcella and Jesse, we have all seen prices lately going up. Everything is getting more expensive these days. But imagine opening your insurance bill and it's double, even triple what you paid just a year ago. Well, we talked to a San Diego man who saw his bill go up even higher than that.
I thought it was a typo.
Tony Obregon lives in a two-bedroom condo in Mission Valley.
These are normal deductibles,
Absolutely. Normal deductibles, no claims.
Here's his homeowner's insurance bill from 2023. He paid $383 a year. His bill for 2024 just arrived, and the cost this year, $2,108, an increase of more than 400%.
I was shocked. I couldn't believe it.
Turns out Tony's not alone. Working for you, we went through state documents and discovered several big insurance companies have applied for and been granted increases well above the rate of inflation.
The insurance industry is taking advantage of unique circumstances in the market today.
Carmen Balber with Consumer Watchdog says insurance companies are claiming inflation combined with the fear of major fires requires big rate hikes, but those have to be approved first by state leaders.
And they're threatening the Department of Insurance and politicians in Sacramento that they'll leave the state of California if they don't get what they want. The insurance commissioner in some instances is bending to that pressure, rushing through the rate increases that insurance companies are demanding without full review.
State Farm, which has the largest market share for homeowners insurance policies in California, sent CBS 8 a statement saying these rate changes are driven by increased costs and risk and are necessary to deliver on the promises the companies make every day to their customers. So how can you fight back? Experts say don't just accept your bill and pay it.
Consumers across the state are seeing rate hikes, and what consumers need to know is they do have the option to shop around.
That's what Tony did, and he's already found a lower rate.
With the cost of everything rising, and then on top of that, the insurance premiums doubling, tripling, quadrupling, it's too much for people.
And more bad news, this is not just limited to homeowners insurance. We took a look and saw several big insurance companies are also asking to raise car insurance rates 20% or more. In fact, it's gotten to the point, Jesse, where it used to be a bargain to bundle everything together when you went to an insurance company to get a discount. But now the experts are saying you might want to also try just shopping individually because you could get such a lower rate for car insurance in one spot and homeowners insurance in another spot that it would actually negate that and make it cheaper to have two separate policies. So we're all going to have to do a lot more work these days to save money.
Now, Steve, you mentioned companies are threatening to pull out of California. Have any of them actually followed through with that?
Jesse, a couple of very small companies have, just a handful of them, but those larger companies, several of them at this point are saying, we're just not going to sell any new policies, but they're still here. And Carmen thinks that that's kind of a trick on their part because they just make too much money here in California. They think they're just using this to pressure those state leaders into giving them what they want, which of course is those higher rates.
Seems like it might be time for Californians to talk with their dollars here. Steve Price for us live tonight. Yeah. Steve, thank you. Here at CBSA, we want to help solve problems affecting you. If there's something you'd like us to look into, email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com.
It sure does feel a whole lot like winter here in San Diego. You know, we sometimes get made fun of because our winters are cold when it gets down to like 60. But it is cold out there. So will the temperatures dip as low tonight as they did last night?
CBS 8's Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis here early with the answer to that and first look at what we can expect tonight,
It's
Carlene.
legit cold.
That's the thing. We could be weather wimps sometimes, but this is downright freezing. This is really cold weather. So you're talking about temperatures that are into the 30s. You're talking about some 20s. You're going to see that popping up. This morning, it was cold. It was very cold. And when we take a look at how we shaped up, you started off the day near freezing for downtown at 39 degrees. The last time it was that cold was back last year in February 16th. Also talking about that chill in the air and hitting that freezing mark for Oceanside. Now we do have a frost advisory that has been issued. We had one this morning that expired at 9 a.m. and we have yet another one that's going to start at 1 in the morning going all the way until 9 a.m. for tomorrow morning. So overnight lows between 30 to 35 degrees. That is definitely dangerous when it comes to vegetation as well as farms, and you're also talking about your pets, so make sure they're nice indoors and just staying kind of warm out there. When you look at our overnight lows, we're looking at 30s for El Cajon, 32 degrees. That's going to be for Escondido, so 30s across most inland areas and even those 20s across the mountains. But how long would that chill stay in the air in the week ahead? All those details are coming up. Jesse.
Carlene, don't forget you can get the latest forecast and have weather alerts sent straight to your phone. Just download our free CBS 8 app or head to cbs8.com. A convicted serial rapist could go free despite his victims fighting his release for years. Tomorrow, a San Diego judge will decide if Alvin Quarles fits the profile for conditional release. He pled guilty to raping Cynthia Medina at knife point in 1988. Court records show he did this to more than a dozen people. He served 25 years in prison before being sent to a mental hospital in 2014. 4 years ago, an appellate court denied his release to a home in Jacumba Springs.
It has been 3 years since Maya Miliete went missing from her home in Chula Vista. Her husband's murder trial has been delayed until late August. As CBS 8's David Gottfredson reports, today in court, Larry Miliete's new attorneys argued his constitutional rights are being violated.
I believe that order flies in the face of the Constitution. I believe it is overbroad.
Larry Miliete's new defense team appeared in court Monday, arguing a court order prohibiting the accused murderer from using the telephone in jail was unconstitutional.
So at this juncture, Mr. Miliete is sitting in custody and has been since October of 2021, and the only people he can call are his counsel.
After his arrest on charges of murdering his wife, Maya Miliete, the husband was ordered not to telephone his 3 children from jail. He violated that protective order by calling family members and asking them to put the children on the phone. Deputy District Attorney Christy Bowles said she was opposed to the judge lifting the telephone restrictions.
The people he wants to communicate with are often in the presence of the children. So because of that, I would object to any modification of orders.
Judge Enrique Camarena ruled there was no constitutional violation and the telephone restrictions will stay in place.
He's not cut off from the outside world. He has the ability to have physical visits with people, social visits. People can go to the jail and visit him.
This week marks 3 years since Maya Miliete went missing from her home in Chula Vista. Her body has not been found. Family and friends gathered Sunday night for a vigil in Mount San Miguel Park. Larry Miliete's murder trial has already been delayed once after he retained a team of new attorneys. In court Monday, his defense team said the DA has turned over massive amounts of evidence on external hard drives, which they are still sifting through to get ready for trial. Larry Miliete will be back in court on February 29th when his defense attorneys are expected to tell the judge whether they'll be ready to go to trial in late August. At the Chula Vista Courthouse, David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Thanks, David. A special election to fill former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's District 20 seat will take place this spring. Governor Gavin Newsom made the announcement today, saying the primary will be held on March 19th and the special election on May 21st. McCarthy announced his resignation last month and stepped down on New Year's Eve. The announcement came after the House voted last fall to oust the California Republican as Speaker.
Meeting planners from around the globe are in San Diego right now to see if they want to bring their events to our city. The San Diego Convention Center was packed with thousands of people today for the 4-day event. The last time they met here was 12 years ago. Conventions bring a lot of money to San Diego because visitors, well, they spend money at our local hotels, restaurants, and attractions.
We want to book shows that create economic impact, that drive taxes, that feed the general fund at City Hall, that create jobs and create that destination appeal.
Former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton will make an appearance at the show and will participate in a moderated discussion.
A U.S. Marine's golden ring, discovered on a mountaintop north of the Arctic Circle, helps a Poway woman connect with a father she never knew. It sounds like something out of a movie, and now it is.
Yeah, a real-life documentary will make its U.S. premiere tonight on the USS Midway. CBS 8's Anna Laurel is there live after meeting the Poway woman today. Anna?
That's right, you guys. This woman is the daughter of a Marine who was killed along with 4 other Marines in a helicopter crash back in the 70s. Well, all of those families, they never really knew what happened to those Marines until recently. And that's the focus of this documentary that's premiering tonight, The Journey to Find Answers.
One of those men was my father, First Lieutenant Henry Pilger, HML Squadron 167.
That's the voice of Abby Barretto in the documentary about her journey to connect with the father she never knew. All because a man in Norway found her father's U.S. Naval Academy ring in rugged mountain terrain 21 years after his helicopter crashed during a NATO mission in the height of the Cold War.
He looked down to see a shining beacon. It was my father's Annapolis-class ring. Incredible connection.
I met Abby this afternoon beside the USS Midway, where her documentary will make its U.S. premiere.
What started out as my story is now our story, with the rest of the next of kin.
4 other Marines were killed in that helicopter crash with Abby's father in 1972.
None of these families knew what happened to their loved one. Most of us just said we lost our loved one in Vietnam because it was easy. Many of us knew nothing. Our families knew nothing.
Hans Krogstad found Abby's father's ring on an island in northern Norway in 1993.
One little inclusion on this side from the rock that's a little bit rough, as you can see, is just ever so slightly dented on this side, all inscribed with the grads' names inside.
Abby was just 22 years old when the ring made it to her, and she tucked it away in a box.
I wasn't equipped. I didn't understand. I mean, I don't want to say I didn't know where Norway was, but I don't think we knew where Norway was when I was, 21, 22 years old.
27 years later, Abby decided she needed to meet the man who found her father's ring and get answers about what happened to him and his fellow Marines.
These 5 men deserve their story told. They are legends. They are heroes.
Abby made her way to Norway, to Hans, and to that mountaintop where he found the ring. And she recorded it all in the new documentary called The Ring in the Mountain.
50 years ago, 5 men, 5 Marines lost their lives here. And today, they are memorialized, and they will never be forgotten.
Now tonight, Abby and family members of those 4 other Marines, they're here for this premiere at the USS Midway. We've posted a link to the trailer that Abby created of this documentary. It's going to be with this story on our website at CBS8.com because right now you can't watch it anywhere. Abby is waiting for news and a collaboration with someone so that it can be distributed for all of us to see. Out here at the USS Midway, this is Anna Laurel for CBS 8. Marcella?
Well, we certainly hope that happens because I'm sure that there are a lot of people that would love to watch that story, and really just an incredible journey that she took and to memorialize the father that she never met or knew. Anna, did the discovery of the ring help the family learn anything else about the mission? Has the military revealed to those families anything more about what happened to them?
Well, they now know. She said that the Marines have been really helpful as she's gone through and looked for information. It was a NATO exercise there in Norway. She said at the time they didn't talk about it. She and her mother did not. She was a baby when he was killed. So they didn't talk about it when she was little. And so it's only been recently that they discovered it was a NATO exercise that they were doing, she said, preparing for war during the Cold War.
A healing journey, a very moving experience. Thanks so much for sharing that with us, Anna.
Still ahead, dozens of Boeing jets grounded tonight after a door blew off an Alaska Airlines flight.
Plus, it's all about AI at this week's Consumer Electronics Show. In Sin City, we'll have some of this year's CES highlights.
And what happens to your Christmas tree when it's recycled? We take you through the city of San Diego's process in our Earth 8 report.